The following lists are a selection of the Illuminist and Hyperianist authors which are considered to be legitimate and invaluable sources in their study. They will provide us with a cross-section of their most relevant theoretical concepts, thereby giving us a direct access to these two systems' internal composition. On the Illuminist side, the authors include McHockney, Michael Faust, Adam Weishaupt, Dr. Cuddy Newman, Jack Tanner, Dr. Thomas Stark, Joe Dixon, David Sinclair, Steve Madison, Mark Rowan, Regatta de Mort, Tom Strabo, Rantin Crancherson, and brothers Spartacus Molu, Cato, and Averroes. Whereas on the Hyperianist side, the only legitimate authors is Corey by himself, under the alias of Morg. One should note that the previous list of Illuminist authors is a non-comprehensive one. Nevertheless, among them are included key names of the Illuminist body of work, authors without whose effort and dedication the world would have been deprived of humanity's greatest wellsprings of intellectual insight and understanding of existence. Concerning ontological mathematics, there are only a few names that stand out above all else, namely Dr. Cuddy Newman, Dr. Thomas Stark, and Mike Hockney on the Illuminist side, and Morg alone on the Hyperianist side. While the Illuminist work spans several volumes, with two of the most important series together amounting to exactly 50 books, with the Truth series by Stark spanning 18 volumes and the God series by Hockney 32 volumes. Hyperianism, on the other hand, is restricted to the size of either 5 or 8 booklets, all authored by Morg, only 2 of which are explicitly relevant to ontological mathematics. Euler's formula and special relativity, the deep origin of space and time, is the first installation of the Truth series. As for the God series, its first volume is fittingly titled God Game. These were published in 2017 and 2012, respectively. The God series was concluded with its last installation having been introduced in 2015, and the Truth series was around 2022. Contrast this to the Ontological Mathematics, the Science of the Future, published in 2019 and composed by Morg, which might be regarded as equivalent to a Hyperianist installation of the Illuminist God series and Truth series. In addition to this, in the book The Path of Shadow, Self and Universal Completion, published in 2018 and also composed by Morg, the subject of ontological mathematics is brought up, but without much of the details presented, in comparison to the previously mentioned book. 2 other titles by Morg of relevance are Book 0, The Book That Should Not Be, and A Message from the New World Order. Although neither of these booklets and their contents has much bearing on ontological mathematics, nevertheless, these were published in 2016 and 2019, respectively, and they deal with topics nearly identical to what is presented in the God series and other related Illuminist works. However, we will not be delving into these 2 works or their contents in this video. Our sole focus for now is the genesis of ontological mathematics. Across all these divergent works, Illuminist or otherwise, the first instance of any mentioning of the concept of ontological mathematics occurred in the God Game on pages 6 and 26. Outside the books, earliest mention of said concept was on the Armageddon Conspiracy website, in one of their articles titled, What is the New World Order? This would place us somewhere around the years 2008 to 2011. As should be evident to the viewer, we have now established the first piece of evidence to our plagiarism charge. Before moving on to the second part of our investigation, we must first re-emphasize that the following study is only a limited overview into the similitude which prevails between the 2 systems, and that this brevity is due to the complexity of the object under study. As such, it cannot capture the true extent of how widespread and systemic Corey's plagiarism has in actuality been. What the viewer should note is that we will not be providing a narrative recitation of the materials to be presented in the second phase of our investigations. Instead, we will leave it up to the viewer to read and compare these materials together. You can pause the video at any moment you wish to read these texts for yourself.